Started. Assalamu alaikum students. I am your teacher Amna Manzoor, and we were talking about the hydrocarbons, the organic chemistry. Previously we were studying about the homologous series alkenes, and we studied its general formula, simple characteristics, some starting compounds, ethene, propene, butene. We also studied why do we not have any one carbon compound in alkenes. We studied some of the basic physical properties. We studied the phenomena of isomerism, and we also studied the mechanism of reaction along with the reaction of addition of hydrogen and halogenation. Now moving towards the topic further, we have to discuss some of the points today. I think we studied the point of COWS, which shows us the basic chemical properties, basic physical properties, that is color, odor, weight, and solubility. And we studied this term for the first member, that is ethene. Now we have to move further. In the process of isomerism, we studied how the isomers are going to be formed, but there are some of the confusions to some students. Let's say we have propene. Okay, first of all, take propane. So this is propane, and as we are studying the topic of alkenes, let's draw the structure of a propene. This is the alkene product of 3 carbons. Now focus on the compound. I told you that while numbering the compound, we are going to start the numbering of carbon chain from where the substituent is getting the lower number, or if we do not have the substituent but the unsaturation, so we will mark the unsaturation as the lowest number, right? We do not have any unsaturation over here. So you can start numbering either from here or from here, there is no difference. 1, 2, 3, right? This point was pretty much clear. But now, to number this compound, we must be very sure from where to start. We have two options, either to start from the left, right, or from the left. If we start from the left, 1, 2, 3. So we use the number from where the double bond is starting. So in this case, it is 2 propene. But if we start numbering from here, 1, 2, 3, in this case, it is 1 propene. So just remember one thing, in the case of propene, we do not have any 2 propene. We have only 1 propene, because if we move this double bond to this position, the compound will be same. It will be just like if you are having, if this is, let's say, this hole is the double bond and this marker is the simple chain. If you say this is the situation, this is double bond and this, if you shift the double bond to this position, the compound will be like this one. No change in the name, no change in the molecular formula, no change in the structure. That will not be an isomer, but the same compound, just the reversed position. So just remember one thing, in the phenomena of isomerism of alkenes, we do not have isomers of ethene or propene. The isomers basically start from butene. Now, in the case of isomers, we can have the different number given to the double bond. Also, we can have different branch chains, either simple substituents or the longer chains or the shorter ones, that depends, but they all will be the isomers of the main compound. Now, if we say we have butene, that is butane. If we are saying it is butene, so just remember, both of these are same. There, here is the double bond getting number 1. The same is the position over here. the other compound, the other isomer will be carbon to carbon single and this position. It will be 2 butene, it will be 1 butene, and so the 1 butene will be this one. So we will have two situations of 1 butene and this one situation of 2 butene. So we are getting the phenomena of isomerism starting from the 4-membered carbon chain in the case of alkenes. Now, if we are saying we have, let's say, 5-membered and it is at this position, now it will be 2-pentene. If you move one of the carbon from the terminal position and move it to, let's say, this position, that will also be an isomerism process. Now, remember one thing, I told you that isomerism is a phenomena in which the structure changes, but the molecular formula remains the same. Some of the students are confused about the phenomena of isomerism in alkenes because they think in this process only the double bond position is going to change. Just remember, double bond position is going to change, no doubt, but if the double bond position is same, but the chain length or the position of substituent is changing, in that case, that compound will also be an isomer. For example, I told you this is 2-pentene same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it will be butene with 1 methyl group. If we are going to write the name of this compound, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will firstly number the substituent. 3 position, 3 methyl, right? Now, identify the position of the double bond, 2, and the chain length 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 for but, and that is ene. So it will be 3 methyl, 2 butene, that is the compound, and it is also 3 methyl 2 butene is also a isomer of N-pentene. N-pentene was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can place the double bond at any position. Let's say if it is 2 butene, it is at this position, it is 2-pentene. We just remove one of the carbon from the terminal position, place it on the chain as a substituent. Placing the substituent in the case of alkenes is also forming the isomerism, isomeric compounds, not only by differencing the number of double bond. I hope I'm clear at that point. Now moving towards the next thing. We were talking about the chemical reactions of alkenes. We studied the chemical reaction, general chemical reaction in which we studied how they are going to react, the basic reaction mechanism we studied. We simply said that they are going to react by addition reaction, right? Now, addition reactions are the compounds in which the coming species is going to add on the compound by breaking the double bond and forming the single bond with the coming species and so on. Now, we studied, first of all, we studied the combustion. And then we also said the combustion can be of 2 types. That was complete, incomplete, just like as an alkane, no change. Now, we studied halogenation. Also, we studied hydrogenation. I told you that the names are going to tell you what kind of reactions are going to take place. In the halogenation, halogen is going to be added, and the 2 halogens that are added in the alkenes are chlorine and bromine. Fluorine and iodine are basically less reactive for the alkenes to be reacted on, so they are not used as an addition product in the case of alkenes. Okay, now the next was hydrogenation. In this process, the hydrogen is added into the alkene. Now here comes another confusion by the students. They are confused about the naming I made on the compound after the halogen addition and the hydrogen addition. The students were confused that, ma'am, you named the halogen compound as ene and the hydrogen compound as ane. Why is this so? So let me just tell you the process is, we will take the simplest alkene, no complications right now. This is ethene. Let's say we add bromine in the presence of light, we will get CH2, CH2, Br, Br. I hope I'm clear at that point. There is no confusion in this. Now moving towards the next, let's say CH2, CH2 plus H2 in the presence of nickel at higher temperatures, we will get, so this is the first compound formed as the final product of the reaction of halogenation, and this is the second compound formed by the reaction of hydrogenation. Now the confusion was in the naming. Students were asking, ma'am, you named it as 1,2-dibromoethene, right? But why do not you use the name ethene but ethane over here? Now remember one thing. If we are going to react a substance, let's say we are going to add something onto the compound, we will start the naming of the compound. If we have some specific kind of name for the compound, let's say we form benzene, we form any kind of specific acid that has its particular name, we will use that name, no doubt. But in such cases, we are making two substituents of the compound. Now, let's see what the name was. Name was ethene. We have added two substituents to ethene. One at the point 1 and the other at the point 2. So we are saying we have 1,2-dibromo. Parent was ethene. So we used the term ethene over here. Clear? Now, in the case of ethene and hydrogenation process, now this is a substituent, no doubt, but this compound is basically a simple ethane. That is not a simple substituent. Hydrogen is already present in the number 2 on both the carbon atom. The third hydrogen adding onto the carbon by forming the sigma bond is making it an alkane series product. This is not a simple halogen series. This is the basic one, like alkenes, alkanes, and alkynes, and some alcohols are the very general and the basic ones. So there, the name ethane is used as the name of the product. But in this case, we are not using ethane, we are using 1,2-dibromoethene because it was formed by taking the additional starting compound as ethene. If we started from ethane and we use the halogenation process, so you asked me, ma'am, why we are not using the word ethane? If you take the ethane over here and start bromination, you will be very much clear that there will be no addition reaction. There will be substitution in the terms of, like, they will be replacing the hydrogen atoms and adding bromine or chlorine or whatsoever the halogen are you using. And in that situation, some of the complex conditions are there which are not included in your syllabus, but anyhow, Markovnikov's rule operates. The positive and negative signs difference are going to be judged. So that is a complex discussion. So just remember one thing, in this situation, you are going to use the name given by this parent. Clear? Now moving towards the next topic, you have been given just a name called polymerization that is also operating in the in the compound of alkenes. It will be studied in detail in the next chapters. So we are just going to have a simple look on the process, that what is it. Okay, polymerization is basically, just check the name. Poly means more than one in number. Merization means combining. In the polymerization process, basically small monomer units combine, either chemically react, either fuse, or whatsoever the condition is. They basically small monomer units combine and they form long compounds, long chain compounds. In the case of alkenes, we have unsaturation, no doubt. Though that unsaturation is leading to the formation of polymers. How is that polymer is going to form? Let's say we have a simple alkene, this one. So what is this alkene going to do? This alkene can be written as this. This is the whole chain, whatsoever the alkene we are using. Remove this, also place it at this position. Now, what the alkenes are going to do is, they are going to remove their double bond and form a single bond with another alkene. Let's say we have C, R, this is another alkene, plus third alkene, plus fourth alkene. Okay, we are taking this much right now. You just have to understand the process. Okay, let's say this compound will be broken down. Now, when this compound is going to, this bond is going to broke, it will be forming a single bond with another alkene on this side. So we are writing it as N, that the number of compound is variable as much as you are providing the solution or the substance. Now this carbon is lacking its bond, 1, 2. This is a whole chain. One bond has been broken from here. It will form this bond with this carbon. Now, it has more bonds. It will be removing this one and this. This will be the situation. I have not mentioned hydrogens over here, so do not confuse that the bonds are still incomplete or complete. In this case, we have hydrogen at each position. And also here. So such kind of units are going to combine and recombine and forming long chain, either simple, either branched compounds, and these compounds or these units are called polymers. The most common polymer that is used or produced in the industry is polythene. And what the polythene is basically made from ethene. Ethene units are combined and recombined by their own compounds. One ethene is going to join with the second and the third and the fourth, and so they are forming long chains, and the heavy bulky compounds are formed. In the case of polythene, we have so many examples, like we say the shopper bags we use, the plastics we use, that though all those compounds are the examples of polythene. We say the polythene bags are not, they are basically heat sensitive. So using the food products in the polythene bags is basically very much dangerous. These are some of the compounds that we will be discussing in detail when we are going to study the polymerization process in the chapter number 16. Now, the one important topic of today is cracking. Sorry, the word is cracking. In the process of cracking, you are going to convert the hydrocarbons which are in a state or in a position that they are not useful for you, but you are going to reform the compounds, or you are going to convert them into such a compound or such a unit that is very useful for you or for the industry as well. The process is cracking. As the name indicates, cracking is basically a phenomena in which the things are going to be cracked. Simple. Let's say we have, okay, some of the points like why do we need cracking? The first point is cracking is useful because it contributes to the formation of more useful compound formation. more useful compounds. Like we say in the case of crude oil that we get from the earth, we said we are going to use crude oil as a raw material and we use it in this industry and that industry and we have so many uses of it. But the problem is crude oil has so many hydrocarbons that are alkanes at one point. Firstly, we studied alkanes are inert, they do not react much. So how is crude oil useful if we have major constituent of alkanes in that? Secondly, these alkanes are long chains. They do not have short structures, they are long chain structures. So alkanes also that having long chains is basically making a crude oil very less useful compound or very less useful thing for us to be used as a raw material in the industry. So try to making the crude oil a useful compound, we use the process of cracking, and in this process we convert these alkanes into alkanes plus alkenes. Like we use alkanes, that longer chain alkanes, and we crack them at certain positions and the required products are obtained, and those products are basically short chain alkanes and short chain alkenes as well. These are the compounds that are then when made produced, they make the crude oil much more useful to be used in the industry and to be used as a raw material in different chemical reactions and different chemical processes. Okay, let's say we take a compound. Okay, we are taking hexane. Hexane, you know, hexa is a prefix used for 6 carbon membered. We have hexane, CH3, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, oh sorry, CH2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the 6th carbon. We have a hexane compound. Let's say we are going to perform the cracking process on it, and after the cracking process, the compounds formed will be a mixture. We are not going to get a very specific compound unless we try to break the bond by some specific position or specific numbering. If we are performing the simple cracking process, it means it is going to form a mixture of products. Means it can be break the bond from here, either from here, at any position. It may form simple alkane, methane. It can form butene. It can form alkene. It can form alkane of short lengths by breaking the bond at any position. Let's say one of the bond is broken down from here and one is broken from here. That is an example simply. Let's say we get one CH3, CH3. We get one compound of alkene, that is ethene. The second compound we get CH2. Let's say we get this as the second compound in our products, and that is propene. And the last product we get methane. On the same way, on the other hand, we can also get the compound as breaking on this position. In that case, we can get 3 alkane, means 1, 2, 3. We can get 3 simple alkanes, and we can also get 3 simple alkenes as ethene, or we can also get a mixture, either 1 alkane or 2 alkenes, or 2 alkanes or 1 alkene, or so on. That ratio is depending upon the conditions, if you are providing some specific. If not, there will be a mixture, no doubt. So this is the process of cracking, in which you are using long chain hydrocarbons, and you are using the process of cracking to convert them into short products, short compounds, smaller units, in which alkanes and alkenes are going to be formed in a mixture kind solution. Now we have 2 methods of cracking, how these methods are performed, how they are going to react and forming, what are these processes, and if we are getting this kind of mixture, how can we separate these compounds by the mixture, how these are separated, like if we have to obtain the methane from it, or we need propene. So all these other reactants, how are they going to be separated, what is the process, and how are these crude oil products going to be used in the fuel industry. These are all the points that will be discussed in the lecture tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last topic of the chapter, and after that you will be provided with a detailed worksheet, a kind of assessment that you will be having 4 days to solve that. So try to revise this chapter in this weekend and hope for the best. Thank you.